Hello everyone, this is a simple unboxing video. Today is July 1st, 2026, which is also the 100th time I've personally purchased and shared an unboxing video of a phone. Today is the launch day of the Vivo X Fold6. Actually, if you paid attention to JD.com or the official website on the night of the launch, there would have been purchase links that promised delivery that same night or the next day. However, I didn't buy it because I ended up going through a third-party channel, which saved me about 700 renminbi. There were no free gifts included. In some places, it seems like there are store subsidies, provincial subsidies, and tax refunds for Hong Kong and Macau, which can save you more than 1,000 yuan. But here, I think 700 yuan is about right. Okay, let's start with the unboxing. Since I bought this through a channel, this is basically a pseudo-unboxing. First, let's look at the packaging. The packaging is almost the same. Here, you can see a slightly blue ring around it. The overall packaging is black. Mine is the blue whole 1TB version. I didn't watch the launch event, so I don't know what the difference is between the black gold version and these other colors besides the gold ring. Are there any hardware differences? If you know, please tell me. The phone itself is still in traditional packaging. Let's put that aside for now and look at the accessories. The large charging plug has a single Type-C port and a 100-watt output. Type-C data cable. Small paper SIM card ejector pin. Phone case. The phone case color is quite nice and matches the original color of the phone well. The vegan leather texture is also quite nice, it's not slippery, and it feels quite secure in the hand. It's a pity it doesn't have magnetic closure or any other features. Then to the phone. Since I've already activated it today, the creases should be clearly visible to everyone. I think with such large creases, you shouldn't expect the creases to be too shallow. It's a fairly straight, small groove, quite noticeable. There seems to be an AAR coating inside, but not on the outer film. I think the color is quite stunning and pretty good. Take a look at the thickness. I also have an M6, Oppo Find, and N6 on hand, but I won't compare them here. Overall, I think it's not particularly light, the weight is fairly average, and the thickness isn't anything special. Then, during the folding process, the hinge didn't make any unusual noises. However, I feel that this hinge is the kind that can hover at multiple angles. It bounces back at this position, and the angle below is okay. It might not hover at this position, which is not bad, but it's not excellent. I don't know how to describe the texture or feel. When I unboxed this kind of large folding phone before, I said that Samsung's hinge is the best. In recent years, Huawei's X6 and X7 hinges have also been quite good. As for Oppo, Vivo, and even Xiaomi's hinges, I still feel that they are always a bit lacking. Actually, if you have used a lot of folding phones, you can distinguish the feel. I don't know how to describe the layout. The power button and fingerprint button are here, then the volume buttons, and then this is a custom shortcut button. There is a sound boot outside for external playback. Almost, if you don't consider the color, if you hold it in your hand and compare it to the previous generation's green, you'll see that there's really not much difference in design. I think it's just a little shorter, the color has changed, and it's not thinner or lighter, I forgot. Okay, there's a microphone hole at the bottom. Let's turn it on and take a look. So, looking at it this way, it actually has 3 cameras. One of them is probably a sensor or something infrared, and the other is sealed off, it's a fake camera. It should have Zeiss certification. This is probably a camera module for the X300 standard version, one for taking photos and one for video recording. After powering it on, the wallpaper and the color of the phone do look quite nice, and I really like the color. However, the bezel of the screen is still quite large. Let's open it up and take a look. Why didn't they provide an AR screen protector? It really shows a lack of attention to detail. I think everyone should just ignore the crease after seeing the glitter. Foldable screens shouldn't be bothered by creases. Okay, overall the grip is still okay, since it's not very heavy. Let's hear how this folding speaker performs. It's a depth. And as you saw when it was playing just now, it was actually. There's not much misalignment in the external speaker, just a slight misalignment, but it's all concentrated on the outer screen. So when you hold it like this, it doesn't have much of a stereo feel because the sound is vertical. When you hold it like this, it's on both sides. But I think it's more concentrated in this position. Unlike some flip phones where the sound is vertically misaligned, the external speaker feels a little better. Anyway, the external speaker is a bit disappointing. I also tried the vibration when typing. It's okay, nothing special. I think the motor is just average. So, the main selling points of this phone are, firstly, the camera, and secondly, the workspace. It should open like this, right? Oh, you need to open this app first, just open a few. Okay, and then there's this atomic workbench, which is one of its selling points. Although it's not a mainstream Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Ultra processor, switching between them is quite simple and smooth with no major issues. It's generally sufficient for most users who don't play games, but honestly, considering its price and processor, I don't think it's cheap and the price-performance ratio isn't very high. But if you're asking about good photography, then yes, Vivo's camera is definitely well-rounded, it's never bad in any area, and this one certainly won't be bad either. However, it's not exceptionally good, but it's somewhere in the upper middle range for foldable phones. I've seen the most online comparisons comparing it to its close sibling, the Oppo N6, since I own both. I used the N6 for a while before giving it to a family member, and in terms of feel, they are pretty much the same. If you're talking about photography, I still think the M6 is slightly better for women who like to take portraits. But for more comprehensive photography, I think the Vivo is definitely better. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a dedicated processor. It uses the Axon processor, which I think is slightly weaker. Of course, it's also more power efficient, so battery life is one of its strengths. I think this one is definitely a little better than the N6 in terms of battery life and power management. Because the Vivo X Fold6 uses a customized version of the Axon processor, it shouldn't have the same battery life as the OPPO. The Find N6 processor is so versatile and has such good performance, so it should be more power efficient and have better battery life than OPPOs. If it doesn't, then that's definitely a big problem for Vivo. As for the price, everyone has been very clear about Vivo's strategy for the past 2 years. They don't want to make a high-performance, all-around foldable phone, they want to target the mid to high-end market, or even the mid-range market. But at this price, I think the price-performance ratio isn't very high. And then there's that recent hot news about various influential figures' phone performance tests having specific versions, right? This isn't surprising at all. Actually, many people who love to talk about specs have argued with me before, and I don't really care about their comments. There's nothing to discuss because you really have to use it yourself, hold it in your hand, to truly feel its objective characteristics. Every phone is different. Don't believe so much in those so-called data reviews and benchmark scores. There's a lot of fraud involved. You see some online reviews saying it's great, with excellent camera and battery life, but when you actually use it, it's not like that at all. Honestly, we used to say that. I'm hesitant to comment on those who buy phones to film videos because many people say they lack authority. But now that this has been exposed, I can tell you that this kind of thing has always existed in various industries, and it's quite normal in the domestic market. So, going back to what I said earlier, you still need to use more phones to broaden your understanding of different brands and not be easily swayed by online hype. If you don't have the funds to buy a phone but really like it, you can go to physical stores to try them out. Of course, those physical stores, those are actually custom-tuned phones. Okay, that's all for today's simple unboxing. Thank you everyone.